Hello, everyone. Welcome to another of a series of our lessons on mastering ranking. You can see I'm putting on a blue cap today. It's going to be a very blue, wonderful lesson, which is on mastering the Times Higher Education World University Rankings by two components here, by subject and then interdisciplinary science rankings. I am Peter Okebukola, and today is a beautiful day, 26th day of February 2026, and a lot of business, a lot of work to do this lesson, so let us get on with it. Yes, get on with it. We should. You can see I've taken the blue background to match my blue cap. We're looking at subject rankings and interdisciplinary science rankings. If you go to the Times Higher Education site, you're going to see this. You're going to see all the rankings in their table inside their port. So looking at subject rankings, we'll also be looking at interdisciplinary science rankings. I tell you something, they started theirs about 15 years ago. We started as 24. We did ours 25 years ago at the National Universities Commission. Thankfully, I mean, by God's special grace, when I was the secretary. So we did the ranking by disciplines. So we had a 25-year history of doing this business. Yeah, I'll just show you what we did. In 2002, we published this. So we had ranking of Nigerian universities or public universities. You can see them. And then we took on ranking by first generation federal universities, second generation federal universities. We did the same for state universities. And then we ranked by academic disciplines. This administration, top of the pack, first rank, University of Ilorin, and it goes on like that. For agriculture, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, number one. That's the ranking. So we did this before. Arts, dentistry, education, University of Benin. This is Benin City. Benin was shining over there at that time. I'm sure it is still shining. Yeah, so that's it. And so what I'm going to be doing in this lesson, some 6 exciting things. We're going to be looking at history. I like history, to look at where we're coming from. And then we'll look at the eligibility criteria and the rest of them. So let's start with history. We're taking the first one. That's the Times Higher Education subject rankings. We'll look at the history structure and the 5 pillars. That's 5 pillars. 5 pillars. So it started 15 years ago. The first subject-specific tables were introduced there. And then by 2013, they expanded to cover all the major STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, and social science fields. And it went on, bringing reputation survey and the rest. Now we have 11 subjects. So what are these subject rankings? About the most prestigious in the world, and I congratulate Times Higher Education Group again for a job very well done. 11 subjects, as I said, is published annually. Over 2,000 institutions from 115 plus countries participate globally, including many from Africa. So what's the methodology? I talk about 5 pillars. You'll see that the same pillars with Times Higher Education World University ranking. Teaching, you can see the percentage, research environment, research quality, international outlook, industry income. There are 18 indicators in total. Now let's look at this pillar, this research quality pillar. So it has the field weighted citation impact, FWCI, which is derived from Elsevier and Scopus, normalized by year and the rest here. Now let's look at the methodology specific, subject specific methodology, the calibration. You see, if you took everything, if you make it equitable, then some subjects will suffer. So what is done, what Times Higher Education has done, is to proportionately assign the weightings to fit the subject areas. Take arts and humanities, for instance. You don't have them with heavy citations as you have for those in medicine science. So the reputation survey is weighted higher there than the citation. Now let's look at the life sciences, medical and health. Citation metrics, predominate here. and the rest. So the moral of the story is that we don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. There are approaches that are customized, bespoke for each of these 11 disciplines. So that's objective number one. Let's move on to the second one, which is eligibility criteria and data submission. Now, as I said, the Times Higher Education World University Rankings will bring all of this you submit alongside. So the minimum 1,000 publications is still there. Staff thresholds of 1 to 5% of academic staff in subject varies by discipline, and you must have undergraduate students that you are teaching. What are the kind of data that are needed? Same data, more or less, but some specific for subjects. Academic staff, student numbers, degrees awarded, undergraduate and doctoral, income, bibliometric data. You don't supply that because Times Higher Education will get that from Elsevier and Scopus. Reputation data is obtained from the survey. So that's it. Is that it? No. Let's look at the calendar. The portal opens in January. This is February 26th, so it's open now. We're actually we're almost there. In another 4 weeks or so, that portal will open. So January to March is data submission period, about 10 weeks. March deadline, April to June verification. As I'm going along, you see that coincides with that of Times Higher Education World University Rankings. By October, the results are released, usually the first week of October. But the release of results for this year, 2026, will be 2027 results, because a new cycle will start in January of 2027. Let's go on to objective number 3. To develop a strategic positioning plan for improving your student subject ranking. What are you going to do? First of all, note that participation is free. You just register at Profile Rankings at timeshighereducation.com, and please, when you're filling, do not leave any data field empty. Just put in the correct data there. It's good to assign a senior officer to lead the submission. You call that in lesson number 3. I did talk about the vice chancellor getting the respectable person to lead. I'll lead the team. You have to audit your data before the portal opens. Get your data and look at it. That's what we're doing in Lagos State University now. We're really digging in, examining our data, ensuring that it's valid, the data are valid, and the rest. So reporter status, if for instance you don't meet that 1,000 threshold, Times Higher Education, good people, they'll take you on reporter status. That will allow you have a feel of what is happening. So when the results are released, you put in one corner the reporter status. So what are the strategies for getting us there? I have 6 here. Scopus, that's the heart of the matter for the citations. You do a Scopus audit. So you map current index publication footprint, target high indexing journals, and niche selection. You can't say you are good in all the subjects. You may be, but you can rank order them. So you focus on 2 to 3 subject areas where you are strong. Then reputation building, because there's got to be a reputation survey. So if you don't have good reputation, how do you build reputation? International publications will let them know that, hey, this university exists. Then you attend conferences, international conferences, the visiting scholars, let them come so that the name of university is propagated nationally, regionally, and globally. International outlook, get international students, not just have students from your locality. Build co-authorship networks, data infrastructure, invest in institutional research office and data systems, and the industry linkages formalize and correctly classify industry research income. Now, let's go to the case study of Nigeria. About a month ago, you can see January 22nd, 2026. January 1st was when the Times Higher Education subject rankings were released. And National Universities Ranking Advisory Committee, NURAC, will release this statement. And we say for the first time, 24 Nigerian universities were listed in the global rankings, making Nigeria the most represented country in sub-Saharan Africa. I clap for Nigeria, I also clap for Africa. Now, 11 subject areas are the ones that are listed here. And I talked about, what did I talk about now? Quite a lot of things. Okay, now, it attracted global attention, national attention in the press. This from the Vanguard, this from the Guardian, this from the leadership. Well, I think it's time we'll go for a short break. Oh, let's go for a short. Okay, the short break is over, so let's get on to the second part. The first part is on subject rankings. The second part is on interdisciplinary science rankings. What are we going to do? That's subject number 4. Let's explain the rationale, the framework, and this one, just 3 pillars. Just 3 pillars. So, conventional rankings, we just do the disciplinary specialization, but this one is across disciplines. The world, the problems or challenges that the world is facing today is not, say, just botany or physics or literature or whatever. The interdisciplinary. You solve the problem, you got to bring the lawyer there, the educator, the scientist, the policy analyst, all of them. So the world's most pressing problems require interdisciplinary solutions. That's why there's crossing borders. That's why this, for me, is a very interesting, very important ranking. So by 2024, Smith Sciences collaborated with Chancellor Education to create this interdisciplinary science rankings, ISR. So by November of 2024, the first one came out and is making waves now. 749 universities from Nigerian countries participated. At MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology came out as number 1. Let's look at the 3 pillars. We're talking about pillars. You have the input pillar. The input pillar, what does the institution invest? The proportion of research income devoted to interdisciplinary science. So you are in the university or polytechnic or college of education. How much is your institution investing in research that's interdisciplinary? Now, process. What structures enable interdisciplinary to work? Outputs. What interdisciplinary research does the institution produce? So from these 3, we have 11 metrics. From these 3 pillars, we have 11 metrics. So by 2025, you have integration of knowledge from multiple science disciplines. But later, 2026, it got expanded. You have STEM plus STEM, or STEM plus social sciences, law, psychology, economics. So you have publications. Well, this one is about publications, not just narrow area, but spreading its wings across 2 disciplines or more, 2+ disciplines, via Scopus subject subfield classification. You can find some time to look at this slide. So let's go on to number 5 objective of 6. How is your institution eligible? And what are the gaps that you need to address? So the minimum, we're talking about 1,000 at a time. This minimum, minimum is 100. 100, just give me a minute now. Yeah, 100 interdisciplinary science publications within a 5-year window. So minimum 50 academic research staff across applicable sciences. The rest, you must declare at least 1 science subject. 1 science subject must be part of it. Computer science, engineering, life sciences, physical sciences will be part of it. We're talking about eligibility criteria now and data requirements. Let's go on to objective number 6, which is how do we improve on interdisciplinary science rankings? How do we improve? I have a few suggestions here for you. First thing, well, not in any rank order. Establish an interdisciplinary research center. It may not be a center like that, but get some people together, good researchers, and tell them the problem you want to solve. Look at the different angles. So when you publish, they know that it's interdisciplinary. And then create promotion criteria that recognize interdisciplinary outputs when you bring CV now for A&P, Appointments and Promotions Committee, and you're looking at it, or you are assessing somebody for professorship or senior lectureship or whatever, and you see an article that is multidisciplinary in terms of scope, participation, of authorship, that's the one that they should give more weight for promotion. And the for interdisciplinarity, published broadly, target Scopus indexed multidisciplinary journals. And there's something I like to say as I close this particular slide. A number of African universities, many already do interdisciplinary research. For instance, in my case, I do interdisciplinary research, putting in cybersecurity, education, artificial intelligence, science, STEM, and the rest. I would draw our scholars from different places. So our research outputs are highly rated. So, but they just do not document it to capture ISR credit. Hey, like I said, this one, don't talk. Practicals. So how do we, let's get on to the practicals relating to this lesson number 4. There are only 2 tasks, so 2 tasks. The first, many of you will have done it. So what you want to do is to report on what you have done. Registration for ORCID. Mind you, I didn't say ORCID, ORCID ID. Then register for Web of Science. Register for Scopus. And register in Google Scholar. You will find out as we go along with this training how important these 4 elements are. And then we're going to do a gap analysis on tertiary education subject rankings. Enough of talk. Let's have some demonstration. Now, regarding the demonstration, in the registration for these 4 platforms, to register for ORCID, to get your ORCID ID, you go to this site. You're going to get a 16-digit ORCID ID. If you already have it, all you need to do is just present it to us in your result template. Web of Science, you go to webofscience.com, scopus.com, Google Scholar, scholar.google.com. Now, this one will give you unique IDs, but this one, no numeric ID. All we want, and it's free, all we want will be for you to give us the website. So, for the second part, that's the gap analysis. So, you take your subject area, which will be anything. Mine is education, arts, and social sciences, and the rest of them. You go there, put it here, and then the category, world, who is number 1 in the world in that subject ranking in your area? Who is number 1 in Nigeria? If you are not from Nigeria in a team, just put your country there, and then your university, put your university here. So what's the overall score for the world? Put it here. Research quality, industry, international outlook, research environment. Your university, if it is no show, it's under the radar. If it's not visible, we're talking about visibility here. It's under the visible, is below the radar. You put 0 or not applicable, just like we did for practical number 1. Okay, before I go to this summary, let me give you a sense, the demo of it. Yeah, so you go to the Times Higher Education site and you see all of this. You've been here quite a number of times. So it's rankings by subject. That's what we're doing. We're not doing interdisciplinary practicals here. World University rankings by subject. So you see the subjects: arts and humanities, business and economics, computer science, education, studies, and the rest. 11 of them. So you choose the one that is your own. And then you come to here. Let's see. Okay, if you had arts and humanities, for instance, you click on arts and humanities and you come here. I will tell you right away which one is number 1 in the world. That's Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The overall score is here: research quality, industry, international law, research environment. Just copy into that table. And then for the one for Nigeria, or for your country, let's say Nigeria, this one is going to tell you, well, you can see University of Ibadan is the number 1 there. So you put the overall, the research quality, industry, international outlook, and research environment. As simple as that. And then you check your own university not there. So apparently, any university here, any university in the group that's not University of Ibadan or University of Nigeria Nsukka, now zero be that. But let's take on another. Let's look for another. Let's take computer science. Let's take computer science. For computer science, where is the number one? Number one is University of Oxford. University of Oxford. So let's take Nigeria. Nigeria, where are we? We are here. So Landmark University is number one. Covenant is number two. Ilorin is number three. So that's how you do it. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Yeah, so the guide that I'm going to send to you after this is this researcher profile registration on 4 major platforms. So you have ORCID, you have Web of Science, you have Scopus, you have Google Scholar. So registration for ORCID. What's ORCID? Before you begin, registration steps. I've done this for all of the 4. So you don't go get any issue at all. So that's the thing. Registration on Google Scholar. That's what it is. So let's look at how you're going to enter your result. Yeah, so this is where it's going to be. Registration number, that's your module. This practical 4, gap analysis on 2026 times higher education subject rankings. So you know all of this. Then you go to put your ORCID ID here. You go to put your Google Scholar website here. Just copy and paste it here. Scopus author ID, put it here. Web of Science ID, put it here. So recall the other one I mentioned, gap analysis on times higher education subject rankings. Name of the institution, you put the subject area here. Like you see, if you put computer science here, you know it's Oxford. If you put arts and humanities, it is MIT. Nigeria, you put it there. Then your university, give the name. So these are the data these are the cells that you go to enter the data. You did this before. Then you draw a graph. You did the graph before, graph of gap analysis. Then you discuss your results, recommendations, and conclusion. So this is how you go to end marks. Your ORCID ID, you're going to get 5 solid marks. Google Scholar, all of them, each of them. So 2,000 you put in your pocket. 2,000 marks, put in your pocket if you did that one well. But you know, we are marking people, they know how to detect if you put in the wrong thing. Now, data on gap analysis. There are 3 categories. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And then you have 5 pillar scores. You have a score here overall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's it. 5 pillar scores times 50 marks, 750. The graph, that graph is 800. The discussion will get 500. Recommendations for bridging the gap 800. And conclusion 1,500. Total 50-50 in your pocket. Hey, this is awesome. So get prepared to earn 50-50, 5,050. Yeah, so what have we done here? We have times the subject rankings, 11 subjects, 18 indicators, 5 pillars. ISR, 11 metrics across inputs, process, and outputs. The 2027 data portal is open. The time to register, if you have not registered, is now. That's why we moved, I kept repeating it, we moved this training to this period. Because you now have about 3 weeks to end, almost like 3.5 weeks to end. It closes in March. So contacts are the ones that we have here. What is going to happen? Next lesson, we have done times higher education. We are going to QS rankings. That's going to be a great lesson indeed. Yeah, that brings us to the end of lesson number 4, mastering university rankings, subject rankings, and interdisciplinary science rankings. From me, Peter Okebukola, it is what? Bye-bye for now.